I want to talk about the Tuskegee-Macon County Emotional Emancipation Initiative. It is the brainchild, I should say, of a very lovely sister, friend, Enola Aird, who is an attorney from New Haven, Connecticut. She is both the founder and the initiator, and I would say the vision keeper of the Emotional Emancipation Circles. Her organization is called the Emotional Emancipation Network, and she can be found on the net, on the World Wide Web, at communityhealingnet.com. Her basic idea is one that I think many people share. It's the notion that we, people of African descent, here in America and throughout the world, are basically engaged in an ongoing struggle with ourselves, within ourselves and with each other and within our communities and in our nations. The struggle in part has a lot to do with a very long history of both enslavement and colonization. We talk about the myth of black inferiority, and it really is a myth, but yet and still on some levels, be it consciously or unconsciously, many of us have bought into that myth. And this is evidenced by the conditions that we see our people in our communities. We, people of African descent, are at the bottom of every good list and at the top of every bad list. So what the Community Healing Network and the Community Healing Initiative and the Community Healing Circles are all about is bringing circles of people together throughout a community. We're beginning this initiative here in Tuskegee as a pilot. Tuskegee has been chosen because of Tuskegee's history of black self-reliance, Tuskegee's history of scholarship, and Tuskegee's history of being an initiator of many great things. We are also a community here that I think is probably more than 95% African American. So this is an ideal place to begin this pilot. It's a 3 to 7 year project, so it's not something that can be done overnight. We realize that. The idea is to go throughout the community very pragmatically, very deliberately, organizing and bringing circles of the community together to sit and engage in a relearning of who we are and of our cultural values. With the help of the Association of Black Psychologists, I should mention Cheryl Grills, who's the former president, and the current president is Darrell Rowe. The black psychologists have been tremendously helpful in developing both a handbook and a toolkit that has much of the information that's needed in order to conduct these circles. But the idea is to re-educate ourselves into our great history and into a culture that will allow us to rebuild and to restore ourselves and to build our communities. One of the things that the EEC, the Emotional Emancipation Circles, will do is to draw a diverse group of people together. And when I say diverse, we are all African Americans. This is an initiative for people of African descent, but we want to make sure that we have representation of young people there. We want to make sure we have elders there. We want to make sure that we cut across all social economic status of groups. As a people, we've bought into all of these class issues, and so that's part of what the discussion needs to be about. We've also bought into ageism, In many instances, the young people no longer respect the elders, and in some cases, the elders are fearful of the youth. These are all the kinds of problems that we're faced with as a result of having been torn away from our culture. So it will be cross-generational. It will include people from different fields of thought, whether religious is open to people of all religious faiths, people of no faith at all. It really is a healing initiative that's designed to build unity. So we want to be together in our community with one another. We want to revitalize ourselves and each other. We want to deepen our understanding of our plight, of our legacy of oppression. We want to share our stories and basically kind of detoxify our minds. We want to share our resources so that we can build and that we can move forward. The process, we here in Tuskegee are launching our first Emotional Emancipation Circle on Wednesday, January 16th at 5:30. It will be held in Washington Plaza, which is an area that has a number of businesses and community centers, but that will be where we will meet. We invite people to come out. The entire community is invited to participate. Much of what we will be discussing is a value system based on the principles of Ma'at. Those principles are referred to as the 7 keys or 7 values, which include reciprocity, order, harmony, balance, truth, justice. And we will talk with each other about the meaning of these values, the ways in which we practice them in our daily lives, and in the ways in which we need to practice them more in our communities and in our family lives. Most of the EE circles will take 2 to 3 hours because there's so much that needs to be understood and so much that needs to be discovered. It will be an opportunity that's open to the entire family. It will include food. It will include, on some occasions, short film clips, things that illustrate the points in which we intend to make. There will be dancing and singing, so it will be a fun time for the community to come together. Again, it's based on a kind of a self-help model. There won't be experts involved, although it is a community campus partnership made up of people from all walks of life. I happen to be a faculty member at Tuskegee University. But again, we are a very diverse group. We are all African Americans, but we come from all walks of life once again. And so each circle is designed to become self-sufficient so that it will propel itself, you could say similar to an AA group. That's the self-help model. And once we have one group up and moving and running, we will go to the next location and begin the process over again. And again, this will take us 3 to 7 years to complete. You can look for the community healing, emotional healing circles to come to your community very, very soon. In the meantime, if there's further information that you're interested in, you can again visit the communityhealingnet.com. Thank you so much for your attention. We are very, very hopeful. We have love in our hearts. We're very committed to this process. We intend to lift our community and restore it to its greatness. The event is free. It is at no cost. This is a service, a community service, and it's going to take all of us to do it.